Hey guys, Ian here with White Pine Living. Welcome to another edition of Around Town. And today we were fortunate enough to have our friend Amy Sorensen come and join us. And if you guys know Amy, you know that she's involved with a very cool thing that we wanted her to come and talk about today. And first of all, before we get into that, I think a lot of us would like to know what brought you to Ely.
My husband's job.
Your husband's job?
Yeah,
okay.
He's the director of mental health services here in Ely.
That's awesome.
So he's a therapist, so some people know him as the therapist. And
okay.
So that's what brought us here.
How many years have you been here?
8 years.
Man.
8 years. July will be 8, but it's, so I guess 7 3/4, but 8 years. 8 years. So, and you know, people say the first couple years are hard, and they are. The first couple years in Ely are hard just because you have to kind of change your lifestyle a little bit. You get, you don't run to the store or to the restaurants the same way you do when you're in a bigger place. But the longer we live here, the longer we're like, I don't know if we can move. We like it. We're liking it.
It gets awkward to go back to a bigger city, honestly, for me.
It does.
So.
We drive around town and go other places, and we're like, there's so much traffic. There's so many people.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want to stay. Let's go back to Ely.
Yeah,
so
totally.
We're liking it. We're enjoying it. We enjoy the people here. You get used to it, and really, it's a great place to live. We like it.
I totally agree. So, let's talk about what inspired starting this thing called the Children's Art Festival.
Oh, well, when we moved here, we decided my husband was here working. We were in Utah living until we got our house, which is pretty common. And we decided to go to an art festival that was in Utah. The community put on there. It was 2 weeks long. It was very expensive. And it was fun, but my kids only took one class. They learned a lot. It was amazing, but it wasn't something we could do every year. And so my kids loved it so much, though, that they said, can we do it again? And there were some families here in town that we kind of had met when we first moved here, and they've unfortunately since left, but they said, yeah, let's make this happen. And so we got a core group, and we actually have probably 2 or 3 that are still there that we kind of pulled in after the fact, and they're still here helping. But initially it was this group saying, I think we can make this work. I think we can make this happen. And we just started making phone calls and sending out letters and made it happen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you've been doing the festival for how long?
This summer will be our 8th year. So
Dude,
we've done
you did it
7.
right when you moved here then.
We started it, we started talking about it in January after we moved here.
Wow.
And then we did it.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I know I have to kind of think, how long? Oh yeah, okay, why is it 8 years? That's why it's 8 years. But pretty much we got here, and then we all got talking about it, made it happen. So it was crazy and fun.
All right. And so I know that there's probably some people that are new to our community, maybe new to this whole concept. So how does this work? Is it something that costs when you bring your child to this?
It does. So it's $35 per kid. We usually offer a discount. We have a family code that we'll offer families with more than one child, because we understand very well that kids are expensive, and the more you have, the more expensive it gets. So we offer a $5 discount for families on each additional child.
That's awesome.
So your first child is $35 for 3 classes. Now, they can take less than 3 classes. They could take 1 or 2 classes.
Okay.
But they're so inexpensive and they're so fun that for the most part, most families do the whole day. And it's from 8:30 in the morning until noon. They get a snack every day. They get a T-shirt. They get all their art supplies, which is, for a whole week, for 5 days, you can't beat it. Yeah. You can't get anything cheaper.
Completely reasonable. I mean, anybody that owns a business or has done anything, it's just part of the world we live in. Things cost money. You have to buy art supplies. There's just things, and as much as we'd love to just fork it out of our own pocket, you kind of have to have it funded. Okay, so you know what? There's a lot of people in the community that maybe it's tight financially for them, and maybe would otherwise not go. Are there scholarships, sponsorships available?
So we have a principal's scholarship that we invite the principals of the different schools to put together a list for us of kids that would otherwise not be able to participate. And we have last year Rotary Club and Lions Club helped provide those scholarships, which was really awesome. And so we have funding available to help kids, and we want to. we don't want parents to be like, well, another thing my kid can't participate in. I'm not even going to show them this flyer, because if I show them this flyer, they're going to want to participate. We're not going to talk about, okay, hurry by the grocery store, don't look at the flyer, kid. Which makes me sad, because our goal is that every kid is an artist. Every kid has that opportunity to participate. And so we have ways and means to make that happen. So if you would like your kid to participate in that, you can talk to, if your kid's in school, you can talk to the principal about that, or you can contact us, because we're eager to help kids participate with our program. So
that's awesome. And then as individuals, I'm sure that people could probably sponsor a child if they wanted to.
They could. When we open up registration on our registration site, there's a spot that says Will Hampton Scholarship, and Will Hampton was one of our volunteers, and he passed away last year. And just amazing kid, and in honor of, he was a very talented musician, a very talented he did theater at White Pine High School, just an amazing kid, and we were really sad to lose him. And so in honor of him, we have a scholarship, and it starts at $5 and goes up to a full sponsorship for a child, so $35, but you can do anywhere in between. So if you registered your child and then put in $5 for another kid, that money has added up quite quickly. I think last year we had 25 people donate to that sponsorship,
that's awesome.
Which is really cool that parents want to support other people's children, and they want kids to have the opportunity. And most of our families know that it's a really great experience, and that their kids, most people anymore are starting to plan their vacations around Art Festival. We do for obvious reasons, but I have had some people go, now when is it? Because we have to make sure that family reunion isn't that week, and sometimes that happens, and there's a lot of sad kids when that happens. But it's cool.
Now's a good time to talk about that. When is it happening?
It's going to be July 31st through August 4th.
Okay.
This year. We usually do it the last week of July every year. This year, just kind of the way the calendar fell, and with Lens Pioneer Days and everything that goes on with that, we just didn't want to compete with with Pioneer Days. Yeah. So we're doing it the next week.
Okay.
So
that's one of the key inspirations for us starting White Pine Living, was that there's so much going on in this community, and one of the main functions of White Pine Living is to have a community calendar. And it's basically just two of us putting this thing together. We probably should have a staff of about 10. But if you guys know of an event, please get in touch with us. We'll have some contact info in the linked on this video, so you can get in touch with us. But we would love to know what's going on, so we can make sure that community calendar is all filled up, so that we don't have conflicts and we can all just get involved and do stuff.
Because right after the way that it usually works, we have Art Festival, and then Steptoe Valley Soccer Club does their soccer camp right after us. And so we actually coordinate with them every year to make sure that we don't compete with each other, because she's like, we can't do art in the morning and soccer in the afternoon. They're too tired. Because my kids are tired by the end of the day, because it starts at 8:30, goes until noon. Everybody comes home and grabs lunch, and then just kind of, we've done art all day.
Totally.
So it's fun, but we don't want to compete with all of that either. So
yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so if people want to know more, you guys have a website, sounds like.
We do. It's whitepinechildrensart.com. And there's pictures on there from past festivals. There's information. There's a list of our sponsors. We have a great community that sponsors what we're doing.
Okay. You're connected on Facebook as well?
We are. We have a Facebook page as well. So you can like us on Facebook, and there'll be good information there. We'll start here now that it's getting closer. Yeah. We aren't pretty active until usually about May. Okay. And then we start getting a lot of updates about who's coming. We're still coordinating if we have any special guests. We're working on that right now. We've brought in the last couple of years, we've brought in special guests, and it's been a really cool experience. We had a children's author last year, Christine Pakala. Mm-hmm. She wrote some children's books, and she was delightful. And then we've brought in Brandon Mull. He wrote Fablehaven and some their older books, but he came and spent the day with us, and that was really cool. We've brought in a watercolor artist. Her name is Jill Cook. She was amazing. She spent the whole week with us and did some amazing art, and we're trying to beg her to come back, because she has friends here. And that's what we find, actually, is that if you know somebody that is an amazing artist, and that you have a connection to your family, when they come, they have somebody to visit visit with.
Yeah.
Because Ely is so small that when you have that connection, it's just more fun.
That's my favorite thing about living here is I think I've learned more and just grown more in the importance of community and relationships than like ever, because it's vital. Yeah. It's life here.
Yeah, it is. So if you know somebody, that's actually how we got Christine last year. A friend of hers had helped with the festival, and they were talking, and she had said, we just did this art festival. It's so amazing. And she said, well, I want to go to that. So she called me. She goes, do you think you'd want me? Yeah. Like, we're going to tell you no. Of course we want you to come. So she came, and she's from New York State. So we flew her out. And that was really actually pretty hilarious, because she was from Idaho originally. And she's like, big skies. So beautiful here. And she was just the whole week just was so excited to be here. So we enjoy when people are excited to be with us, that it's not just, and we don't pay people to volunteer with the art festival, but when we bring in a guest, we will, provide them with lodging and
it costs them something to get here. Airline tickets aren't cheap. Hotels aren't cheap.
So we take care of their hotel. Actually, the Robinson, Nevada mine helped us bring her out, and they sponsored her visit, and so they took care of her airline and rental car, because you have to drive from the airport to get here.
So businesses can sponsor that?
They can.
Awesome.
They can. We're sending out we send out letters to businesses that we know that we've worked with in the past. We try to find interesting, new businesses, but sometimes we don't have, we don't know which businesses would be interested, because you wouldn't always think that the garage that fixes your car would be interested, but they've been interested. So we try to be pretty broad with where we send them, but if you are interested in sponsoring, we won't say no.
Well, as a marketing professional, so I own a marketing company, and we deal with that all the time. And just as speaking to you business owners, there's always been about 2 reasons that you would sponsor an event like this. Number one, if you're new, or maybe people don't know about your business, it's a great way to raise some awareness. But more than that, speaking about community and about just being involved and having relationships, even if it benefits you nothing, other than being a part of this community, it's a huge thing.
I think there's a high level of goodwill.
Yeah.
Because like Tiffany Swadich has sponsored every year that we've done this, and I don't know that she gets a lot out of it, but she's been an amazing sponsor because she's supporting our community. And there's a lot of goodwill that comes with that. And the mine has sponsored probably for 3 or 4 years. We've had a lot of community businesses that have sponsored for multiple years, and they do it for the kids. Because it feels like the right thing to do, but it's goodwill, and people feel positive about what they do. So, and you get on our T-shirt, we'll put you in all of our advertising, you get on our website. So we do a special thing on Facebook for everybody who donates, and so we do some stuff to try and make sure that people understand what you've done for the community, because then you think, I want to go to that business, I want to support them. That's awesome that they're willing to support the community that way. So we try to help them, with and thank them for their sponsorship, because we really couldn't. We keep our prices so low that we really can't do it without the community support, because we want as many kids as possible to be able to attend. And so that's why we keep our prices. I've had some people say, you should make your prices more expensive. And we could. But the reality of it is that there's some families who can attend now. And it feels pretty cheap now, but there's families who can attend now. And so if we keep it in this price range and have that community support, we're able to get more people who can attend.
If you feel like it's too low, you can always sponsor a child.
You can always sponsor somebody else, and it'll be awesome.
Oh, man. Okay, how do people get involved if they want to volunteer? What's that process like?
You can go to our website, and there's a contact us link, and you can contact me. We're always looking for volunteers. We usually let teachers teach only 2 classes. Sometimes we'll ask for 3 if it's the same class 3 times. And some people say, oh, I can totally handle 3 classes.
Yeah, right.
And there's some like Miss Viv who does Miss Viv School of Dance.
She's amazing.
She'll dance for 3 full hours. And I'm like,
she's awesome.
I just watch her and go, you have so much energy. She's so amazing. She's actually on our board of directors. And so she'll teach 3 classes. The Lego class, we tend to have somebody teach 3 hours because then it's a consistent for every group.
Right.
And you do the same thing every time. So it's not, you're not prepping. You're just working with 3 different groups of kids. So that one isn't so time intensive. It's time intensive. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
But usually we invite people to teach 1 or 2 classes in a skill that they know a lot about or that they're willing to learn about. Our kindergarten, first grade classes tend to be pretty arts and craftsy. You know, it's princess art. It's superheroes. It's they did Jedi training last year, and that was really awesome. Hilarious and fun. But they tend to do more arts and craftsy types of things. And then as we get older, we tend to progress into more skills-based. Second and third grade is a little bit still arts and craftsy, but they have more motor control and they have more attention span. So we can do some different things with them. And then by 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, that last group, we can, invite people who know how to paint to teach them how to paint. We have time to teach them how to do some really cool things, and we're able to do some deeper things with them. And so they've done a lot of sewing. Their sewing classes are so popular. I always kind of laugh. I'm like, really? Because my mom taught me how to sew, and so I'm like, sewing. I like sewing, but
I can see that being useful. Daddy needs his patch sewed on.
Exactly.
Maybe
you could get that going. But that's a pretty popular class. So we invite people who have those interests and those skills to come and share them with us. And so you can contact me on the website or on Facebook, or message me on Facebook and just say, hey, I'm totally interested. And
the cool part about this is that it all culminates to this one big day, the exhibition. So let's talk about that.
So the kids do all the artwork, they do all their dancing, they do all their theater stuff in a week. And you think about that, they have 5 hours in this class, and that's it. And so they prepare this it's really cool art, actually. I'm really impressed with what the kids can do in a week. And so they do all this work. They work. And then Friday night we have a family exhibition. We invite everybody to come to the first part's the art exhibition. You can come and walk around and see everybody's art. Our goal is to make it visually interesting. So it's kind of like going to a museum. Not really, but kind of. And then we have all of our dance and theater performances following that, and it's just a really great community event where the families come together, grandma and grandpas come. You're looking around and there's a lot of really positive energy. We're just excited to be together. We're excited to be a community. The volunteers have worked so hard and have produced this amazing event, and it feels like community. It feels like home, and everybody's done this because they want to serve kids and they want to help kids in our community, and it's a neat thing. It's a really positive experience.
That is why we invited you to come talk about it, because it is amazing.
It's a neat thing.
So again, for people that are new and haven't done this before, let's talk about registration. How does that happen?
So we're in the process now of getting all of our teachers and coordinating all of our classes. Okay. And really, our classes are dependent on the teachers we can get. So sometimes we don't do the same class every year because we can't get a teacher to do it. So we've done video game design, but he went to college, so we're not teaching. I would love to, but I can't do that. Yeah. So it's really dependent on what the teachers want to teach, and so we're coordinating that now. We'll put all that on the website in June, and then usually it's June 14th. I'm not sure if it'll be the 14th this year, though. Okay. But on Facebook, like us on Facebook, we'll update when registration opens. We'll send home letters to schools. But if your kids are entering kindergarten, so they'll be starting kindergarten in the fall, do like us on Facebook, because we'll have all that information. Okay. The website opens at midnight. People get on at midnight.
Yeah.
If you want a certain class, you should get on at midnight. Yeah. Because there is a plus. I'll plug being a volunteer, because I let the volunteers test the website to make sure it works. And so, because I feel if you are volunteering and your kids are attending, then you should have the right to choose your child's classes. That's my only perk. Yeah, totally. Because we don't get paid. You get a T-shirt and you get to register your child early. So which is the only perks we really provide for our teachers, other than really feeling good at the end of the art festival. But so we do test the website beforehand. But if you want a certain class, you should get on, especially the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade classes. They tend to, the cooking classes go really fast. Anything to do with electronics goes really fast. So if you're looking for a class, you should get on right when it opens about midnight.
And it does, registration closes eventually.
It does. We're open for 2 weeks, so you can register for 2 weeks. We close it because then we can order all of our supplies and we're not guessing.
Well, yeah, you guys got a plan.
Our first couple of years, for first 3 years, we kept it open until like the day of. We would have day of registration. It was a little crazy. And it's hard on our teachers because they don't know, 2 weeks ago I had 6 kids and now I have 10. And so it just didn't allow our teachers to prepare appropriately. And so we started closing the website so we could order t-shirts and we could order supplies and the teachers could really be prepared.
Yes.
And I found that it just is a lot more relaxed on the morning of the first morning because we just get kids where they need to go and the teachers are ready to start. We're not trying to register your child last minute. And then some families, that's hard. If there's a situation, most people, you can call me or text me or Facebook message me and I can get around your computer issues. If you contact me, I can work that out. Yeah. But I can't go back in once I've closed registration. I can't go back in. So once it's closed, it's closed. But I can work out a lot of things. I've had people call me, I'm camping and I can't get on, and so we'll go in and register their kids for them because we want their kids to participate. So
that's really
we will work we will work things out for you, but we can't open it back up.
Yeah, so. I get it. That's what I appreciate about that, and I noticed just personally when we have visited and been a part of that is that I think there's a stigma in small towns that people don't expect much in the way of organization and professionalism. And and you guys do a very, very good job. And it's little things like that, planning, having closed registration at some point, and that it's what it takes to make it fun.
Make it a really... over the years, our goal every year is to learn from our mistakes, because every year we have a hiccup. One year, one of our teachers went mountain biking and tore all the muscles in her shoulder, and she's the one who does all of our exhibition stuff. And so that year we were like, no mountain biking after that. Not really, but she, that stuff happens. And so we had a lot of things in place, and she'd put a lot of things in place, so we were okay, but it didn't work as smoothly. And so we try to have our contingencies taken care of because it is a little, but we try to be really organized because when we're organized, the kids just can be.
Yes.
They're not worried about what's going on. We know where the rooms are. We know where they're supposed to be. It's crazy enough last year we had 250 kids participate. So when you have that many kids running around, we have to be a little organized.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've learned a lot of tricks over the years to make it run really smoothly. And like last year, we left going, okay, we're going to do this, and this different. And I like that because my team, there's probably about 10 people that are on the advisory board for the art festival, and we're going to meet this week and start getting things going, but they bring ideas, and it's a pretty synergistic kind of team because it's like, well, what do you think about that? Well, I don't know. No, that's great, let's do that. And they bring their ideas, and we try to work whatever I'm the big thinker of the group, which is sometimes a good thing, and that's sometimes a bad thing because I get grandiose ideas. And they kind of are like, well, we can't do it that way, but let's calm it down so that because we can't do that. I'm like, I know, but it'd be so cool. But the big thinker is important, but everybody who brings in all the logistical things, it's a really great group that brings us together.
That's awesome.
I can't do this alone and at all. And I have an amazing group of people that make this happen because I can't make this happen by myself. And so there's amazing people in this community who donate a lot of their time to make this happen all summer as we kind of plot out how many art supplies do we need and, and all that stuff. So it's a really great group. It's a great group of people.
All right. Well, again, let's plug the website. It is wpchildrensart.com. I'll make sure there's a link in there so you guys can find it, as well as some contact information for Amy.
Awesome.
And thank you.
Thank you so much.
Us.
This has been fun.
And,
I'm glad you could come.
Be involved if you can. If you're a business, it'd be great if you can sponsor this thing. And let's just make this a great year for the Children's Art Festival. Awesome. And so thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.